The back of the Raven Room. The torso killer is connected to them.
Our brotherhood grew strong. Dehu Isa Dagos.
Dehu Isa Dagos.
Stand steady, brothers. Go now.
That pendant. That's just the sort of talisman that Madame Cassandra said I should find to use against him. The candlestick. That must be the trick to getting into that cabinet. Obviously, I can't open this door. There must be some other way to get in there. Obviously, I can't open this door. There must be some other way to get in there. Ah, the killer's talisman. I'm sure that this was just the sort of thing Madame Cassandra was talking about.
Hello, Jim.
Hello, Cassie. Could you put me in a trance?
Of course. Let's begin. Now relax. Concentrate on the locket. Block everything else out. Concentrate, concentrate, concentrate.
I've got to rush off. I'll explain later.
What about
I'm sorry, I don't have the time. Thanks.
I'm telling you, I saw his secret lab. I saw the way in.
Are you crazy? You know I can't get a warrant out of your trip to a crystal gazer!
There's no time for a warrant. I thought you'd want to know when I'd come across the killer. I guess I was wrong. But something weird happened down there, and I'm gonna find out what it was. With or without you.
Wait, kid! I want in on this cockamamie scheme of yours!
You got a smoke?
I didn't know you smoked, kid.
I do now.
Come on, kid. I thought you knew what you were doing.
Are you ready, Detective? Our killer's hideout's right down those steps.
I called some of my men. They should be here to back us up soon. But just in case.
What the hell?
Jesus.
Looks like we're a little late to help victim number 9.
God. That can't be. It's him.
You know the stiff?
That's the killer. I'm sure of it.
No, you were wrong, Jim. That poor sap couldn't be the killer. But at least we found his hideout, even if he isn't here. You did good work. We'll get some clues we can use out of this.
And they're all gonna point to that man right there on the altar, Detective. That's the killer. I'm sure of it. There's his cane. Someone took it.
Took what, kid?
The Dahlia. It's missing.
Nobody had better have taken anything.
Elliot, I want these amateurs removed immediately. They've botched everything. Why, if we hadn't been tipped off that they were down here...
Amateurs, we just bust this case wide open. We weren't too chicken.
I had enough sense to get a search warrant.
You're
now
just
we won't be able to use
sore.
one shred of evidence.
Sore
from
because
here.
we found the killer's hideout first. You're worried our mugs will be on the front page instead of yours.
There'll be no contact with the press about this.
Mr. Ness?
You just busted illegally into a club owned by some very important people. People with contacts to Washington, all the way to the top. They're going to be very unhappy with what we found here.
You can't just cover this up.
Mr. Pearson, you're way out of your jurisdiction here. You're in no position to be arguing with anyone.
But how can you...
I'm going to do what's in the best interest of this country. President Roosevelt was just on the radio. The Japs have bombed Pearl Harbor. We're going to war.
My involvement with the Torso murders ended with little fanfare in December of 1941. Officially, the case remained open and unsolved, but no new bodies were ever found, and no new suspects ever turned up. The mess at the Raven Room was hushed up, but there were those of us who knew that a 9th victim was found in a secret lab underneath the streets of Cleveland. They later identified him as Dr. Eisenstadt, an expatriated Austrian aristocrat who had fled Europe during the rise of Hitler's Nazi Party. Whether this man was merely the last of a series of victims, as the police believed, or the Torso killer himself, as I had always suspected, no one was able to say. His murderer remained unknown and at large. In early '42, I finally got my wish and was transferred out of Cleveland. By then, the US of A was up to its neck in the struggle against the Axis, and so the COI had been given new powers and renamed the OSS. I said my goodbyes to Mr. Sullivan and shipped out to Europe. Unfortunately, I couldn't rid myself of Dick Winslow. His connections landed him a cushy new post in England as liaison to the British Secret Service. By spring of '45, things looked good for the Allies. We'd made the push all the way to Nuremberg when I was called in to investigate a bomb-proof vault full of stolen art treasures. My reputation as an expert on Himmler and his SS spook squad and their crazy fascination with the occult, along with what they'd found among the miles of old mine shafts, had the brass calling for me in a hurry. Occult symbols marked the walls. Symbols that bore an uncanny resemblance to a bag of runes I still carried in my possession. It was my first solid lead on the Dahlia in 4 years.
You've been pulling junk out of that joint for hours now. I swear, those crowds hoisted everything but the kitchen sink. I think they even got one of my paintings in there, and I ain't painted nothing since Mrs. Kaufman's art class in the 5th grade. Say, that reminds me.
You ever come up for air, kid?
What's that, sir? Oh, yeah, the mouth. Yeah, the boys all say I put the powder in Paterson. Paterson, New Jersey, that is. That's where I'm from.
What's your name, Private?
Private Benjamin J. Schwartz. Sir. Most folks just call me Benny.
You're okay, Benny. How about filling me in on this room you found?
Oh, yes, sir, Captain. I'll tell you what, it's a real creep show back in there. Kind of stuff make even Boris Karloff crap in his drawers, you know what I mean? Yeah, some of the boys tried to go back in there, but they got that place all rigged up. Petey was nearly crushed to death when that big door shut on him. Whatever it is they got hidden back there, they sure didn't want just anyone waltzing in and hauling it off. This is it, Captain. Good luck.
Thanks, Benny.